Welcome to the Guillens World. I got my man, Ozzie Guillens. Most of you know him as a World Series manager, former player, husband, dad, friend, now a media member. Most of you believe it. And myself, Ozzie Guillens Jr.
You forgot something, brother. Grandpa.
Grandpa. Oh, I thought you were going to say Venezuelan soap opera.
No, Grandpa.
We're missing our third wheel. One Guillens is actually on his honeymoon right now. Spending money, which is something that he does not like to do very often. But he's out there watching Real Madrid, enjoying himself. So you guys, cheers.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday. Yes, indeed. His birthday is coming up. And then we got our guy, Austin, here in town. He's working behind.
Oh, my God. He's crying by this weather, like crying.
He's bitching about
oh, my
bitching
God.
about the snow. But we're excited to be here with our friends at NyynewsTV, our guys out of New York. This great partnership, creating this Guillens World where we're going to have a no-holds bar kind of set up for baseball and just talking life, a place where we can talk about the game. You let us know what you think about what we're saying. We'll let you know what we think about the game. But I'm going to tell you this much. If you have feelings and your feelings are easily hurt because we talked about your best player, favorite player, we talked about your favorite team, I'm sorry. This is not personal. If we talk about a Dominican player, it's not because they're Dominican. And we talk about a Venezuelan guy, it's not because of Venezuelan. We talk a guy from Kentucky, it's not because he's from Kentucky. I don't see color. I don't see race. I don't see anything. I see numbers, stats, and situations in baseball.
And facts.
And facts. Again,
very important.
And again, which is hard now on the day of baseball because we got old school, new school, sabermetrics. There's so many things out there, so many philosophy. But again, I think that with Ozzie Guillens, here with 40 plus years of experience in the game, being good, being bad, myself being around the game and consuming as much information as one can, we can break this down for you. But let's have fun and let's get loose and let's get right into it. So nothing personal off this first subject, really hard one, vaccines. COVID-19, I don't care what you think, if it's bad, good, if it's here, if it's not, it doesn't really matter. The fact is that Major League Baseball is affected by it. Why? There is vaccine mandates for Major League Baseball. Both Ozzie and myself were affected by it, meaning when we wanted to be in the field for the playoffs, Major League Baseball said, you want to play here and you want to work, you need to get vaccinated. Again, regardless of what we believe personally, we would get vaccinated. I was okay with the free stuff. I've put a lot of stuff in my body. So I'm fat, I'm overweight, I eat a lot of McDonald's, I partied hard in college, so I wasn't really worried about what they were putting inside me.
But it's kind of hard because it's a very, very sensitive subject, especially when you talk about baseball, different mentalities, different nationalities, different way to look at life. And see this happen in the game is kind of sad. But, you know what I mean? So many rules in baseball people don't like. So many. Well, this is another rule. And people got to go by the rules. It's like another job.
So the one I was going to bring up, Brian Butterfield is the coach that they brought up.
One of the best.
One of the best. Unfortunately, he was not vaccinated during the COVID season. Again, he's up there in age. He hasn't gotten vaccinated. A lot of people said that he would be on the Mets coaching staff. Did not even get a shot because of the vaccine. Again, people are not getting vaccinated for different reasons. We don't know his reason, but that's where the story came from. There's a really funny thing, though, that I found ironic, that people did not know that there's mandatory things that they do in Major League Baseball. Like, for example, your prostate exam.
Yes.
There's Major League Baseball teams that you have to get your prostate examined no matter what. So even if you're like, for you to get insured with the team, it has to happen. So there's teams that have other medical kind of situations that they deal with because of insurance, because of certain things. Again, this usually falls for non-uniform employees, meaning non-players. So coaches and managers are not protected by the union, which again, it's something that you can debate. Ozzie was a player, a manager that at a time, I thought he was nuts, by the way. I brought it up to an owner, Jerry Reinsdorf, hey, the managers and the coaches are unionized because they wanted to be protected. But again, right now they are not. So the vaccine, we're going to see individuals, obviously, like the coach that's not going to be part of a staff. But then we're also going to see players. Players are going to be facing, if fans talking about them, if they test, if they didn't take the vaccine. Now it's something that people bring up all the time. So as a player, if you took it, you took it. If you didn't take it, you didn't take it. Very hard time for players to be dealing with this. If I was a player, I'd be avoiding this as much as possible because, again, it's something personal to them. And if you do it, people believe that you one way, and if you don't do it, they believe you another way. A very hard time for baseball players to deal with that.
Very difficult. Just, sometimes you get confused. You talk about NBA players that, you got to buy saying, you got to take the shot. But in the meanwhile, you in the middle of the court playing or defensively, that one guy next to each other, but they cannot be together in the clubhouse. They not can be together drinking water. It's just so many. The rules is 6 feet apart.
The rules now are funny. I was very close to the situation with Zach Plesac. I was not at dinner with Zach Plesac, actually, when Zach got in trouble.
Yes.
He was suspended. Zach's a dear friend. He didn't do anything wrong. So when players were on at home, they were allowed to go to dinner, party, go out. There was no restriction. But when they went out to the road, and again, no disrespect to Cleveland.
Maybe you have more control of the play when they're in the road.
Well, they're on the road, though. They had rules that they couldn't leave the hotel.
Yes.
Well, Zach lived in Cleveland, okay, had family in town, went to dinner, not even in the restaurant. He was in a private room, and he got suspended. You guys could Google the situation if you remember about it. You know, his players were against him. He got in trouble because Major League Baseball saw that he went out. So it was kind of like ironic. Like he could go out in Cleveland and do the same thing, but he couldn't do it as a road player. So I thought it was just BS.
That's easy, Ozzie.
Yeah, I thought it was just BS.
No, that's easy. Where are you going in Cleveland? Where are you going?
Well, yeah, where do you go to eat in Cleveland?
Yeah,
again, so everyone was in
Chicago.
Everyone was at a disadvantage. Again, who makes those rules? If I got vaccinated, it's like I don't want to wear a mask on the feet, in the dugout.
Okay, why you take, some people just still have it vaccinated, but you can still get it.
Correct.
And then why, if you go to get it, why you doing it? Then now that happened in my job.
You got it.
Yeah, I got it.
But you're motivated by money.
If they told me you have to take 7 shots, I got my third one already. But if not, I can go to work.
So I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a science guy. It wasn't my forte. I don't even know what that word means. But I don't want to be the guy laying down like, this is about to end, saying, give me the shot. Like, I'll take my chances. Like, I'll do anything that gives me better odds. Like, if I was a baseball player, this is where we're going to get into the next topic. If I was a baseball player, I would have done everything that is considered illegal. I would have taken steroids. I would have done.
I might be doing a couple of things. I like.
I'm just saying. I would have been. I'm always gaining an edge. I'm just saying. I'm always gaining an edge. I used to have this conversation when I was younger. If God came down and said, I'm going to take away 5 to 10 years of your life, but you're going to play Major League Baseball and be a 2-time MVP, would you take it?
No, I don't know about that.
I used to say yes. Now I say no because I have kids.
Yeah.
But back in the day, I'm like, man.
But so that's easy because, okay, rules is the rules, okay? These are the rules. I'm married. I wouldn't smoke cigar with you. What's the rules in my house? I had to go butt naked from the garage of my house straight to the shower.
So you're saying that
if I like it.
So you're saying that EB's has harder rules than Commissioner Robert?
Yes.
Way harsher rules?
That's in my own house. They want to pay for. They want to leave. And I had to be butt naked in Chicago. It's 20 below zero. Hurry up, straight. Just straight.
Straight up. So that takes us to the topic. You had some controversy again. A place where we used to do a show on, a place that we still like and respect, La Vida Baseball. They edited a video. The video was misconstrued. That was like a month ago, saying that you didn't believe that Big Papi was a Hall of Famer. Again, you talked to Jansen Pujols, so now the Dominican thing's taken care of. One thing, guys, Dominican people, it's just like Venezuelan people. If you talk bad about a player from their country, they think that you hate them. Americans don't have that. They're like, we don't care. But if you talk negative about a player from another country, everyone thinks you hate that country. It's not true. So the reason we're talking about that is because, and I don't want to get into the Hall of Fame talk today because we have a lot more to cover than that.
And I will be.
But we're going to cover it. It's the storyline that we believe that Big Papi is a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Yes, he is. Okay, I believe he's a Hall of Famer. Do I believe that he is a first ballot Hall of Famer? No. And do I think that there's a difference between first ballot and second year? I do believe that there is that, even though you don't get into a special room. But the only reason is because I think like a strategy. So if I voted and I gave him a vote, I would take a vote away from guys that might fall off the ballot. So there's guys that I don't consider Hall of Famers in the first go around. But when you start building their cases, Larry Walker, you start saying, man, this guy looks like more Hall of Famer every single day. And now with sabermetrics, now with the analytics, now with guys really looking at numbers and really comparing, you start saying, oh my God, does this guy have a chance? It happened with Mark Burley. I shared the picture with Mark Burley. In a million years, I never thought that Mark would have that close of numbers to Tom Glavine. Why? Tom played with a lot of winning teams. Tom seemed to always be in the postseason. Tom always seemed to be like in an elite group. But when you look at the numbers and you take away the wins, you're like, man, Burley,
he was there.
If Mark pitches with the Braves of that era, does he get the same numbers as Tom? Again, sure. I'm not taking any credit away from Tom Glavine. He's a Hall of Famer and one of the greatest pitchers ever pitched that I got to see live. But for my guy, Mark Burley, who I didn't think was a Hall of Famer, now I'm like, And I gotta
wait a minute. Look at the numbers.
Wait a minute. I gotta look at the numbers. This guy's got, the no hitters, the perfect games. He's got the World Series. He played a long time. You start considering yourself and you start looking at the stats. You start saying, okay, why not him? The reason with Big Papi is that people are ignoring, okay, the fact that he was in the Mitchell report. Okay, regardless of what anyone says after the fact, is that there is links to him to the steroids. Just like Barry has links to the steroids. Like Barry never tested positive. There's an E60 out there that you can watch that breaks it down very well. The Screwball by Billy Corbin breaks it out pretty well.
Why nobody talk about that? Do you know why nobody
brings it up?
That
documentary show.
Why? Nobody talk about it. I'm the baseball man. I'm watching. I'm like, I drove my jugs.
I watched it with you, and you were like, "Oh my God, this is," because you were astonished. But again, we know all these guys personally, and again, he's probably one of the love players, and it's not his fault. But it's not the fact that he's going to get in. I blame the other people. I don't care about his love that he's getting, but I'm like, why don't other guys get that love? Gary Sheffield,
yes,
for one. Okay, Gary Sheffield. If people you haven't Googled him. Gary Sheffield came up as a shortstop, and it was a the
Milwaukee Brewers
was a top prospect before they made the word top prospect. He was always a superstar. Okay, and he did it throughout his career. A guy that, again, is it linked to Mitchell? Again, regardless, look at his numbers. You got Barry. You can go pre-career, after career. You got guys like Roger Clemens. You guys got like Andy Pettit who are getting votes that were linked as well.
How about Crime Dog?
Well, that's a different kind.
I mean, just a lot of guys out there. We talk about numbers. Hall of Fame not doing, or people in the Hall of Fame not doing their job.
But that's what I think, though. Like, writers are going out there and they're punishing guys like Crime Dog because they didn't hit 500 home runs.
They're punishing Kurt Schilling because he believes.
That's Kurt's not in the Royds one. Kurt's in like, you have too much of an opinion.
Yeah,
you can't get in, and that's
scary. Supposed to be.
Well, the scary part is this. Let's say a team out there, which you were very close to get with San Diego. By the way, this guy's one World Series away from being a Hall of Famer because everyone that has two is in. So you get in the Hall of Fame. Like you win a World Series, you're technically supposed to be in the Hall of Fame. But because a writer of one of your comments that you've made in the past.
Oh, I never will be Hall of Fame.
And no, they can keep you off for saying, oh, this guy in 2000, because that's how they interpreted that. Even though it was just a stupid joke that you made, they can say, oh, this guy believes in this political view, and then they wouldn't let you in, which I think that gets dangerous.
But you know what's funny? Is that ever happened? That ever happened? I don't think so, but if that ever happened, if they not make me go in because what I say in the past, it's a lot of Hall of Famers going down. Well, because I will talk. Well, I'm not going to be like others. They don't say anything, just like put it. No, I will say, I was trying to go name by name, plaque by plaque.
Well, there's only one guy that's ever like sued when there's ever been allegations about him, and that was Bo Jackson.
Yes.
They mentioned his name one time, and Bo sued the next day. That's when you know
that's how this country is all good.
Okay, so the part that I want to separate, and again, I didn't want to get into the Hall of Fame, but it gets dangerous when you start going into people's personal lives.
Yes.
Okay.
Nobody's perfect.
Well, no one's perfect. And some things that we might deem worse than others, again, there's certain things that everyone deems wrong, but there's certain things that other people might look down. When you look at it historically, the top players in Major League Baseball in our history, okay, maybe if they were born at a different time, they would have had different mentality. But it's well known of their mindset and the way they thought about certain things.
Yes.
And the way it was cultured. So when you start looking at that, it's like, do I think that everyone's perfect? No. So it's very dangerous. And again, these writers, with the Jay Mariotti with you, he used to call you out every single day. And then we saw who the better person was, meaning the better human. And you said, give it time and we'll see who the better human being is. Yes. That's been decided. So again, we're going to be, the Hall of Fame is a conversation that we can literally do a show every day about someone in the Hall of Fame. And we're going to break it into that. And we're going to go dive into that. But this takes us to our next topic of the day. And it's the lockout. And the lockout is linked to the Hall of Fame because I was about 10 years old in 1994. Still heartbroken as a kid then because I thought the Sox were going to win the World Series. Innocent kid. I was wondering why my dad was at home. But guys like Fred McGriff, guy like Andres Galarraga, guys like Dave Winfield, who's a Hall of Famer, but his numbers are not what they should be. A lot of guys that were either flirting with 3,000 hits or getting 500 home runs have to sit out a season. So I started thinking about it this way. Do you imagine that Miguel Cabrera was like on his last year and there's like a lockout, and Miguel's not allowed to
They
play.
need like 500 home runs, one home run, 2 home runs.
And he needs like a couple home runs for 500. Or if Albert Pujols had not hit his milestones, or Mariano Rivera had not hit his milestones.
Yeah, this.
So now we're looking at like Mike Trout.
Now you mean I remember Cal Ripken when we had the lockout, and
if he stopped playing,
and they're going to have players. They're going to have players.
Yeah.
How do you call that?
SCAD.
SCAD. Yeah, they're going to some SCAD player. They make it to the big league. Go to play Major League Baseball. They say we go to play with the SCAD players, and Cal Ripken. If Cal Ripken they play and Cal doesn't play, the streak is over.
Yeah.
That to me, they have another conversation.
That's a heartbreak.
Wait a minute. We have to have another conversation.
Well, because you're putting Cal Ripken in a very hard situation. Follow the league, okay, and or
Kyle will say I'm playing, but Baltimore Orioles owner went out and said, listen, we have this situation. What we should do?
Yeah.
Then I think that particular record push a little bit better for baseball to continue to the real players.
It basically helped out and said this is bigger than the game. And again, when you're looking at the negotiations and the lockout, and we're going to have the image that shares it, they're not that far away. And I got to pick it up because I got to actually look at my phone because it's a lot of sensitive information and I don't want to give it to you in the wrong way. So when you're looking at it, they're not that far, okay? So each player in the 40-man roster has received $5,000 in the last couple months. So they're making some money. The guy's only in the 40-man roster, but minor league baseball is going to start on time.
Good.
Okay, January 28th. This is a risk, though. If minor league baseball starts on time and minor league players are playing and major league players are not playing, from a fan standpoint, that's going to give both the owners and the players a black eye. So the tax threshold, the owners want it at $220 million by 2026. MLB Players Association wants it at 245. Okay, they want to have pay for play arbitration system, which is free agency for everyone at the age of 29 and a half. The owners, Major League Baseball basically wants you to have 5 years of service or 29 and a half. And you can look at the details. The playoffs, owners want 14 teams in the postseason. The MLB players only want it to 12. Why? There's two guys. It means more money. Revenue sharing. That's something that they're discussing. Draft lottery. Owners don't want to give up draft picks for not signing free agents. Players want there to be more competitive in the market side.
Okay, why they don't put it? If you finish last place, you play in AAA.
So this is what I'm going to ask you. So what rules, if you were right now on either side, what rules as a fan would you try to sneak in there and say, I would love to see this? And I got mine. I want to hear what
I will implement 2 more teams in the playoff.
So you would go 14 teams?
Yes,
or 16 teams.
That's more interesting for baseball. And I take the rules out. DH is coming in.
The universal DH, because no one wants to see the pitcher hitting.
Universal DH.
So tell them why, because you're a former manager. Again, this is not in our show, but why? Because people that are out there that don't know the game maybe as well as you do think that there's more strategy with the next line, and you say that it's completely wrong.
The only strategy they have that you talk about right now is easy because the pitcher got to throw 3 hitters. It's easier now. The strategy got the double switch. The risk you make is just like, okay, this guy pitching well, he's pitching very good, but I need to pinch hit for him. Besides that, you got more opportunity to have a strategy with the 6, 7, 8, and 9 in American League because you don't have the pitcher from there. Managing make something happen if you're going to pinch hit. You bunt or you hit run because you know the guy that you got to pinch hit for the pitcher. But American League way is people look at American League like power, home run, yes, because they have the DH. But I think at the American League you can do more as a manager offensively, not just home runs. And also, when you're in American League and you're going to play a National League team,
you're at a disadvantage.
You're in disadvantage big time.
Well, I believe this though. Again,
I don't want to pitch and get hurt.
Well, for Bumgarner guys out there. Like there's people that are like, there's pitchers out there that believe that they're better hitters.
That's easy.
They let him hit. I'm saying though, if you're a manager, okay, if you're a pitcher and you tell your manager, if you sign a contract and say, when I pitch, I got to hit, and you want to take your bat over someone else's and affect your chances of winning the game, your manager might not be happy.
By the way, I will say, buddy, what's your name? You're not Ohtani.
Well, correct.
You're not Ohtani.
Correct. It's like if you're that good as Ohtani, again, you can do it, but you can always hit the pitchers. People don't know that. Like you can play with the DH and still hit the pitcher. You can still hit the pitcher as a choice. It's not a good choice, but you can still have that choice. So Universal DH is more fun. Number two, it brings more jobs to baseball.
Yes. And by the way, remember, last couple guys had been on Hall of Fame election.
It's because of the DH.
Because of the DH.
Yeah, David Ortiz does not play that many years. Edgar Martinez does not play. Harold Baines does not play. Frank Thomas, Harold Baines.
Jim Thome.
A lot of guys, those guys don't get those extra 8-9 years of career without the DH.
Nope.
I don't think that they make it happen. Again, that's something that the game has changed. So MLB lockout, January 13th. The owners proposed a new proposal, January 24th. But I'm saying it. So the lockout is like a negotiation. So the 24th, they actually the players submitted theirs. So now we're waiting on the owners to kind of just come in and give theirs back. So there's conversations.
There's going to be back and forth.
There's going to be a lot of back and forth. Again, don't hesitate. I think that people are a little worried, but I think I'm still being optimistic.
I wish I could say that, but I think in the first couple of days, the spring training be closed. And one thing about, they had to think about it. Okay, and players, I went to strike. I lost a lot of money in the strike. I fight against the owners a lot, okay, in my career. Players making good money right now, owners making a lot of money right now. I think start thinking both sides equally, because nobody going to win in this fight. Somebody going to lose. Either way you lose and you win in this fight. Think about the fans. We just come back from COVID. It was a very excited year last year. Very, very excited. Talking about Chicago, very excited. Both, north side and south side, very excited. And I don't want them, the fans go like that. You see, we went good now. They're doing this and doing that, and lose all the enthusiasm.
Billionaires fighting millionaires. You never want to see that. And I think people are always bringing up the Max Scherzers of the world, and those guys are in the elite 1%. We got friends that are in that 1%, Giancarlo's, Mickey, bless their heart.
Yes.
But I think that this is I want to see some improvement for the little guy. The first year, the guys.
That's the one they got to take.
Well, the guys that are going to sign, and that's what I'm looking at the years of signing of like when are you going to be arbitration eligible? Like I think that the owner should let the players be arbitration eligible quicker. I think that the owner should not manipulate times to be in the big.
You know why? You know why?
And you should be. So my rule was if you finish last, okay, a couple years in a row, you should get help on the draft picks, but you shouldn't get the best automatically. No, that's why you finish terrible and you win your first. Okay, you hope terrible, but here's your present. Well, I think if you sign guys out of arbitration before they hit arbitration and you sign them to long-term deals, I think you should get picks for that. Yes. I think you should get compensated for that because that's your team. You're investing in your team. And people don't realize this. A player that is signed to a long-term deal is actually easier to trade than a player that is not signed. Yes. Because you never want to trade for a player. Well, you know what they got. You don't want to trade for a player that is an unknown. You don't know. No, for sure. That's a very dangerous move. You trade for a player, Cesar Hernandez with the White Sox last year, and you don't know where the guy's going to end up the year after that. You want to sign with a player that you can lock in. So again, I think the way that we reward in this game, it's got to be changed. And again, in this season, we're going to so many changes. Put it in the arbitration. You're not going to get paid if you strike out 230 times. Yes. Those are things that you have to look at. But as a fan, let us know what you think here on the Guillens World. Subscribe to our channel. And the next segment is going to be brought to you by Humes. Do you even know that there's a difference between deodorant and antiperspirant? I just use it just because I see people using it. There's a difference between deodorant and antiperspirant. So this has no toxins, not animal tested, and actually gives you a great scent. Well, and it's all natural. Just be on it. I just want to put it on and say no. I want to put it on. You want to put it on like on the show, but Humes, check it out. Super natural. Our friends out there. Yes, so do it. I need it. I get a lot of bad BO. So I don't. Well, yes, I do. Sometimes when I work out, I haven't worked out lately. Well, that's why I never done. But I'm gonna start working out. You start Ozzie and coming here and say, man, I gotta start. I was in great shape. The soon I start doing it, this guy gonna be with me. Okay, so we got MLB umps. Okay, umpires are disliked by pretty much everyone. I feel like umpires are disliked by their own family members. We have a cousin who is building his career up as an umpire. He's in Venezuela, trying to get into the Venezuelan league, which probably has the worst umpires in the world. But he's trying to make the big league. So it's like still the same process. Oh, you're going to hurt somebody's feelings. I'm going to hurt somebody's feelings. But we were there. We were home for Christmas, and this guy's attitude has changed. We're talking about plays and calls, and you can tell he's changed. But so the story, I love the fact that umpires are around. I think they're a part of the game. As much as I hate them, I think that they just get booed by everybody. Every game has something. Every inning, there's someone bitching on either side, either the fan or someone in the dugout. And I think one of the funniest characters overall are umpires, because there's just a lot of really interesting guys that become umpires. For example, Joe West, Angel, last.
So now you have a bunch of kids. Before, you know the umpires by name.
Oh, yeah, but a lot
you
of
go and have a couple of drinks with them in the bar, you see them. Now it's every day is a kid. You know?
So the kids. So this is one thing. So we always know who the bad umpires are, but this year in this show we're gonna follow who the good umpires are, because there's a lot of good umpires out there. No one gives them credit, but we all know the bad ones. But this segment was going to be a two-part. Number one, Angel Hernandez. Angel did not.
Before you go to Angel, my brother El Lobito, a Mexican umpire, kicked out of the game because he was a little bit too happy.
So I did not know this. So just to explain who El Lobito is, in the Mexican league, which is a great league, I get a videotape of, hey, watch this umpire getting kicked out. And I think this is just some random guy that just got on the job.
So this is a Hall of Famer.
Little did I find out, it's the Joe West of Mexico.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
And he's a Hall of Famer, and had a little bit too much. And they got
had too much fun with the fans.
He had too much fun with the fans. And he was literally escorted out by security.
The security people.
We got to get footage of that.
Yeah, we're going to do it.
We got to, but so the first topic of the umpires is the umpire segment was that Angel Hernandez, who's a dear friend. By the way, Angel's the most famous umpire. I don't know where other umpires are working. When I get on Twitter, I know where Angel's at, because someone says, "Oh, Angel is here." So wherever Angel's at, I know, and I love.
It's
Angel.
a parking lot, people. The taxi. Angel's in town.
Angel's in town.
Airlines.
So Angel, his lawsuit got thrown out again for the second time.
You're not going to beat
because he wants to be a crew chief.
Baseball.
So here's the part that's interesting.
He want to be a crew chief?
Yes, he wants to be El Jefe.
By the way, it can't be a crew chief because he's so bad.
So I feel like
he's a great guy.
I'm going to tell you this. I thought the crew chief was given it just because of you just been there for a long time.
I think so. I thought too.
So what does a crew chief like? Like you're the captain?
Yeah.
Ozzie, what does a crew chief do?
No, this is like you're the captain.
In charge of the rotation.
The rotation.
You're in charge of the.
Is because he is the longest tenured umpire.
Who hasn't been?
Who has never, ever been a crew chief. He's never been a crew chief.
So you know what?
Why do you want to be a crew chief?
Because I think it's a
more money.
Well, I think the crew chief thing is probably about money. But here's the thing, though. Like,
more responsibility.
But he's been there for so long, though.
That's the problem. Come on, Major League Baseball.
Just make Angel a crew chief. And by the way, fans, start this movement. Make Angel the crew chief.
I'm gonna wear a t-shirt. Angel crew chief.
Angel crew chief.
Latino is empowered.
So my favorite, before we get into the robots, when Angel was part of Joe West's crew, who did the 2005 World Series, I believe.
Yeah, they're supposed to be the best umpire in the league. Like
So
the best umpire in the league.
So tell the story. Major League Baseball, you guys get to the World Series and they tell you guys find out, okay, who's going to be the umpires? And they told you.
Joe West was.
They told you the best umpires in the league.
No, the best umpire in the league.
The guys in track.
And I told her, he's talking now. Bob City talking about, we bring the best for this Rebecca band. This is a big World Series. I'm first time managing the World Series. So the best of what? Best players or the best guys playing this year? Well, I say, we bring the best. I don't think what Angel should be here. And I'm the only one laughing. And
you have really bad jokes, but Commissioner probably wanted to strangle you. So here's the part, though. So my favorite story is, one of your most epic getting kicked out ever. So I love when Joe West was on the crew, because if Ozzie was going to get kicked out, I knew that Joe was going to make a show. And Joe has this, he goes like this, 2 fingers, and he goes, like, get out. And that got this guy going. And I think it was Kansas City.
I remember when Kansas City was.
Well, Cleveland was at the Burley, and everybody got kicked out. But where were you when you had to take the flight with
in Kansas City? And Angel, the other son, they turn around, and Joe West always. I told you with the umpire, I'm always Joe West coming.
Because he's a crew chief.
And I go, wow. I said, yeah, but I said like he never said enough, nothing. He's just like, you're out. I said, what?
I've heard it.
Get like what? I just talking to them. I didn't even say anything. And I'm out of here. Then after the game, we lose the game, and I just blast. I remember being fined big time. I'm blast Joe West.
Do you think Joe West would sit in his underwear in his locker watching guys rip him, just laughing?
Oh yeah,
just enjoyment. Just
of course,
he's just laughing out loud.
Because Joe used to. By the way, one of the best umpires in the game.
Yeah.
By the way, but Joe just sit there. He thought people going to see him.
But you know what though? If you know the umpire's name,
it's that bad.
You get to the level of, regardless if you're going to watch him for being bad or good, But when you get to the stadium, if I took also, I say, hey, that's Cowboy Joe West. Who's the other guy? I don't know. But I'll give you this one. The guys that are from Venezuela, when they suck, I say, this is our fault for letting them out to come umpire.
I told him, I said, you know what? It's funny because somebody it's not American. I said, it's not your fault. It's immigration let you in.
Yeah, of course. But Joe West, so he's a legend.
Now Joe West, we in the Kansas City, and with my wife, we went to Miami for Lauderdale. Then flying in all the sudden, I see the crew, first class. I look at it, I go, oh my God, it's Joe West, Cowboy Joe with his crews, and Angel was there. All the sudden, I supposed to sit. My wife said, we're not sitting together. I said, well, we'll see. All the sudden, I sitting with Joe, next to Joe, and Angel. He had a seat with my wife. You want to sit next to Angel. Angel, nice man. It's my boy. It's not a good umpire, but it's my boy. He get up, move with Joe, and Joe just keeps staring at me. Like, I sit down. I didn't ask the student for anything. I got a wine from the student. I go, what is this? The guy behind you. You two have a drink on him. I turn around, I start cursing him out. You cannot throw me out here now. My wife go, hey, he just laughed. He looked at me like this. Having fun, and you wine, but
so I just thought one of the greatest things ever, because when you were a player, we sit in the tunnel and we obviously used to see all the crew chiefs and they knew who we were and the umpires. But like when we became men and adults, I used to love when we leave the tunnel and like the umpires were right by us, because you could tell like the guys that you were buddies with, but you could tell the guys that didn't like you.
But I have a Ricky Rowe, Garcia, Richie Garcia. You know, this is so many. Steve Palermo. When Steve Palermo was on the hospital, he got shot. I'm the only player who went to see him with Hermie Snyder in Common League. So
here's the problem. So this whole story we're getting into umps is because
I thought I'm gonna hit a better sound. I was friends with the umpire.
Major League Baseball. Okay, I don't know who in Major League Baseball, but obviously Rob Manfred is the boss there. Robot umps are in AAA.
Oh my God!
So when you get to AAA in any rule, it's like when you're a player.
I want to see it.
You're one injury away from being in the big leagues. That's the way I see it. So it's a sensor behind home plate, okay, that tells you balls and strikes. So this is where I'm like,
is nobody going to be behind the catcher?
So there's a couple things that I think it's weird. Maybe they're going to have somebody behind there just to like.
Okay.
So it doesn't change.
It's not me.
So it's not me. It's up there. Like you just have a figure there. Or you're not going to have someone.
Oh, no, you have to have an umpire. You know why?
Well, because lineup changes.
No, lineup changes, slide it on the plate, home plate, sliding the plate.
You got to show it.
That's the only thing. And you go there, see the light. Oh, it says strike. You see ball. You know what I mean? Like,
so here's the part that's interesting, though. So we've already know what happened when you introduce technology.
I thought they were going to take technology away.
So here's the thing.
From baseball.
Analytics has done a lot of great things for baseball. But it has brought in very, very smart people. Okay,
the people never play with anything.
Well, if you kept traditional old school baseball people, their cheating tactics would probably be a little bit more Neanderthalish. Okay, Neanderthal, like like from the way back. Like, you get smart people, you start getting hackers, guys that are like, "Ooh, if we do this," that's what happened. A lot of really smart people came. For example, when I watch your bullfighting stuff, and I'm like, how come those guys don't use like better shoes? Or like, why don't they have like a little flashlight to distract the bull and got a better chance to survive? Because that's never had an evolution.
No.
In baseball, if you go into the game, you say, why don't we start doing this? That's how the game gets better and you get better. So by bringing technology and you have a robot ump, you don't think anybody's going to try to crack the software?
Yes.
I'm just saying, though. So you're opening up to all that. Here's the other part. I don't think good call or bad calling, okay, because for every bad call that Angel Hernandez has ever made, there's a team that's happy for it. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
So I've been in the dugout millions of times, and I can write a list of a lot of players that I'm friends with that I'm like, dude, that was a strike.
Yeah.
Stop bitching. There's only a couple guys, a very small list of guys, Konerko, Tomei, that I was there, Jermaine Diet, that I was there on a consistent basis. Harold Baines that never argued. Zone's there. Juan Uribe says that's not a strike. You don't know your zone.
No, but he asked me, like, sometimes I turn around to the umpire and say, that's not a strike. The umpire go, you don't know you almost strike zone.
You got the free swinging Yankees.
And I'm like, okay.
You don't know your strike. If you got a guy that knows the strike zone, doesn't swing a lot of balls. Right now, just Monty Grandal with the White Sox.
Yes.
Very good strike zone. Yeah. You give him the benefit of the doubt.
Frank the best.
If you walk a lot, but so somebody's going to be mad and someone's not going to be mad. So regardless if you put the machine or not, who are you going to go argue with the machine? Here's the thing. What happened if like old Ozzie Guillens, when he was a player, goes 0 for 4 with 3 Ks? Because of the machine. Because of the machine.
I quit. The Browns, because the umpire.
So how quick can you fix the machine? Because I know somebody's going to take a bad
no, wait a minute. I wait till 4 o'clock in the afternoon, break everything on the machine, break everything. And I will turn around and go, we're not an umpire for tonight's game, guys.
So does the umpire then say, I need to become the umpire?
That's what we want.
So I think that we always try to make the game better.
No, we don't.
Well,
we just try to make. We're trying. You know what we do? By the way, a lot of people going to lose money.
Well, number one, you're losing jobs.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the other part. When you're training for baseball, you always have umpires, even if they're crappy.
Little league.
From little league all the way through your adult. So now you're going to teach somebody how to pitch with an umpire.
By the way,
but then when they get there,
I'll give you a better one.
You want to build
umpires get sent to the big leagues, the home plate umpire.
He don't know.
So how are they going to go from AAA and not get better?
Yeah, that's a funny thing about it. The umpire job is not easy. But I think it's easy. You know why? He want to be umpire. I want to be umpire because they told me how much money they make.
Well, umpires here in Chicago make $80 for a high school game. I'll get cursed out every day for 80 in 2.5 hours.
I say, me no English. I want to umpire.
I will have the Atlanta Braves strike zone from 1990.
Oh, wow.
That means 2 inches on each side of the plate.
The 96.
When they play the Marlins.
97.
When they play the Marlins, 97.
97 zone. Like, that means 2 inches off each plate.
Well, 2 inches, sometimes 7 inches.
That's what I'm saying, though. On each side of the plate. So
who will be the first guy to get thrown out in the big leagues? Because it happened in the Atlantic League.
Oh, he argued with Atlantic. Atlanta, the guy argued thrown out. Yeah, you saw it out.
You're automatically thrown out.
But the funny thing about it, okay,
Scherzer?
It's funny.
If you don't trust Major League Baseball with the baseballs that they were putting balls better than the other one, who gives you zones?
This is the best. I remember the ball. Every year they come.
The ball changes rules.
The ball. Jack Murray pitched in Sarasota, Florida, 1930s. I'm playing.
Minnesota Jack Morris. Dirty mustache.
No,
was it Toronto?
Detroit Tigers.
Detroit Tigers. So some real Jack. Young Jack Morris.
Pitching. Park Giannis was the match. In the old part, you got to go through the old dugout. Ball. Jack go. I remember Richie Garcia was in the ball. Hey, the argument, Sparky coming out. What's going on? Oh, you got to stop now. There's a new rule. You got to stop. And Jack Murray lost it. Come on, let me do it. I need to work out. I need to get ready for the season. Boo, boo, boo. You can hear it. All parks. Oh, it's some ball. Jack Murray led the field. Let the field turn around and say, you're pitching. Let the field went by us. When the dugout, they went by us and have a great one, guys. In the second inning, a couple of brewskis. He left the ball. He left.
Not dealing with this BS.
I don't want to live with this. I know. After that, let's change a little bit. Don't be. That was the rule they changed, and they walk away. Bye. I'm not pitching.
I'm excited for the first guy to start screaming to the press box.
So it's going to happen. So again, I don't believe there's a lot of really cool changes. The DH, more playoff teams, but robots there are not. And we're going to wrap up.
I don't know, Manfred said yes to this.
Well, because I believe, I don't think he hates baseball. Some days I think he hates baseball. Other days I don't think he likes it. Some days I think he loves it.
When I hate to go to work, but
No. I think that he really, I think that
but he
wants it.
Okay, who's the people? If they have baseball people around him, baseball people. They want a computer.
I think that he does have baseball people. They're just yes people. They're just yes people.
That's not baseball people.
No, that's right. You can be a baseball person and say be a yes person.
Well, you have to put there a guy like, excuse me, what are you doing? The Jim Leland, the Mike Socia, the Ozzie
By the way, you're not making $10 when you work.
Okay, the Ozzie Guillens,
MLB.
The Ozzie Guillens.
Well, I think they should. Number one, I think with any of these rules, okay, this is, I'm taking it on I don't know every single player in the big leagues, but I'm talking about when I talk to organizations. No one ever says, oh, absolutely, Robot Umpires. I've never talked to a Major League Baseball executive, player,
nobody
or anybody, maybe a couple losers in the media. They're like, oh, robot umps are amazing. No one ever comes out and says we need robot umps. You argue about the universal DH, and guys are like, yes, no. Guys like Big Z say, I want to hit. It's not pure to the game. Guys like Freddie say, fuck that. I want to, I don't want to hit ever. So, but when you talk about robot umps, there's no school.
That's on respect.
I'm just saying though. So you have to ask the players that are currently playing and saying, hey, are you guys okay with us bringing robot umps?
I just call
as a league in itself.
I called Jerry Ranger early today. Called him 3 times. Just to ask, but obviously right now it's on the
he's got more.
Just to ask him, why you guys think about this?
Because you were confused about the umps. You didn't believe it. You thought I was joking when I said there's going to be AAA umps. You thought it was like flying cars.
By the way, a true player, you can't even say, well, okay, we're going to try this in Little League games.
Yeah. No. Well, they did it in the Atlantic League. And again, I don't know. I've never seen reports of how much successful. This is just like when they try to speed up games and they say we made the game a minute and a half faster.
Yeah, it's like wow. I remember that was guys, we got a good news, okay?
We got a minute and a half
45 seconds faster.
Ooh.
I say, how they hate me in baseball just because I say, Richie, you know how the game's very fast? Bring better pitching staff.
Or just call the strikes.
No, bring better pitching staff. Because I played 97 for the White Sox. You go, oh my God, 7 hours.
And then you play for the.
Then I played with Atlanta Braves. An hour and a half, I was back home.
And especially with those strike zones.
Thank you.
But one thing that is being amazing in baseball, and this is how we're going to wrap up the Guillens World. A lot of people thought that we were going to be on the other side of this argument. I have a daughter. He's got a granddaughter. But even before my daughter was in my life, I've always thought this. The moment that Major League Baseball did not make it a criteria to play minor league baseball or to play Major League Baseball, to be a coach in those levels, is the moment that it didn't matter what sex you were, what gender you were, where you were from, what your background was, to become a coach. Just because you have testicles, some people call them balls, does not make you a better coach. What makes you a better coach is actually having the preparation out there. That being said, you do not just bring somebody because of where they're from or what their gender is. They need to have the preparation. So for everyone there that's on Twitter, hitting a couple of these young ladies, they're well prepared. There's coaches in the big leagues that their highest level of coaching beforehand was high school. So because of your sex being a man, it does not make you a better coach over a female who might have more credentials than you.
Yes.
Are there things that we've talked about that might happen or transpire? There's going to be an adapting moment to that? Absolutely. But they have a place in the game. Just like that, we both believe that if you have a great baseball mind, you have a great baseball mind. We've been around a lot of females who know a million times more than us and than most guys that we know.
By the way, I remember, I was telling Ozzie in dinner tonight, I said, you know what? I remember Pat, what's her name? She was an umpire on AAA. Pam.
When you were in AAA?
Yes, umpire in PCL. Umpire, and I think she made it to big league couple games. I think she went to the spring training games and stuff. My problem is, okay, just like you guys prepare yourself better and you can help me to win games, I'm all in. Okay, but I worry about in 2030, 32. These ladies come out and they say, wow, this guy was feeling comfortable because nowadays everything is just in the news.
Yeah, so you're
this guy cursed me.
So that's why I said
this guy showed me this. This guy unrespect me because I was a female. All the little things happen right now in this world that will get me.
So I think
they have to make the sign.
So there's going to be.
They have to make the sign. Listen, if this thing happened, shut up. And live your life. Shut up, because I know one player, maybe not in the minor league, but in some places, like they go to curse him out.
So I think,
So Umpire 13 years in AAA.
So who's that?
Pam 13 years in AAA. I heard she heard a lot of MFU.
Oh my God,
Postema.
So Pam Postema. So here's the part though. So
nobody talk about her.
No, but here's the part to explain that out a little bit better. Okay, the only time I saw an issue. Not an issue, because it's not an issue. I just think how it's going to be held. And this is just, most people don't know this. I've seen players fight coaches on team plans.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I've seen players and manager and staff go at it in a dugout.
Yes.
If there is, here's the part that no one's thought about this. You're a player, okay, and your teammate says something to her that you find offensive. if you used to find out offensive with a guy teammate, imagine if it's a female teammate. That teammate might kill the other teammate. So I think that if you have a lady on your team,
that's why
I think that you as a manager, as a general manager, and as a team leader, you need to make sure that coach is protected, just like every other coach, but even extra protected.
I'm making her sign a waiver. It's whatever happened here, stay here, because I don't want any of those ladies, with all my respect, and I'm very glad they...
I don't know if I agree with that.
Well, because Ozzie, believe me, check the news, everything. Oh, this guy said this when I was 14, and the lady's 90 years old.
Well, that's a different story.
No, because the lady will come out in 2032. They're going to come out like, well, when I was in AA and this guy went by me and grabbed my butt. Like, I go.
Well, hopefully that person gets in trouble when they do that, because they shouldn't be doing that. But again,
that's part of the game.
It's not part of the game.
But
that's not part of the game.
Well, no, part of the game. Like,
that's not part
like, I did it to Greg Walker. Get out of here.
Correct, but that's not part of the game. You don't have to do that.
Yeah, but I guess it's just something like, get out of here, or like touching or pushing. I mean, it's just something come out of the way it should be, and she all of a sudden suing the team.
Well, I think if the teams know this, but again, I don't think they should sign anything. I think that, again, like I just said beforehand,
I disagree with that.
I think there's going to be a time of adapting. There's going to be like an adaptation time. But I definitely think that they can help teams win. And at the end of the day, what you need is to win games. So if they can help me win a game and get a player,
I agree with that.
For all
1,000%.
For 1,000%, I will have them on my coaching staff. Trust me, there's a million coaches out there that are not great.
I have a question. You've been the boss, team boss before, millions of times, anytime.
I grew up on the team.
Can you imagine our Kushner in the middle of the night cursing the way he does and say stuff, and you have a lady there? You think on the mind say, hey, we got a woman here. No, I don't.
You wouldn't. No, but you wouldn't have to say that. No. I think that they're part of the team, and I think that you don't have to say that there's somebody here. I just think that it is what it is.
Okay, but like you
I get what you're saying. I just think
like Kushner go, hey, you, all of a sudden, I'm not gonna get up. I say,
you don't have to get up.
Okay, we had a girl here. We're a woman here.
No, I don't think they expect that.
Okay, that's my concern.
I don't think they expect that.
No, that's my concern.
I don't think that they expect that, because you're saying that they're sensitive. I think there's players that you probably would have to get up that were sensitive about what.
I know, but they don't say. But sometimes you say stuff you couldn't say.
No,
you can say around men, but you can say around women.
It doesn't matter. I think that they know what it entails to be in a clubhouse.
Okay.
And being around also, the game has changed a lot.
By the way, when I was a player, we have women's reporters. Which is that's still my babies.
Yeah, I never, and I'm sure.
By the way, I never unrespect anyone. People think I'm crazy with my mouth and stuff. Never. You can ask any lady, cover me. It's a manager, it's a player, it's a coach. Okay, but I see players try be funny, not try to respect the lady. He just try to be funny around the people. Take the towels, walk by, not tell them, say, hey, look at me. No, just walk around. And I sit there like watching, but just they have to know where you at. But I'm not worried about that.
That's why they need to. That's why they. I don't worry about the big leagues. I think by the time they get to the big leagues, they've already done so much in the minor leagues. I think the minor leagues is where they're
papi. But one thing about it, minor league kids, you tell say shut up and run. They better shut up and run. In the big league, you say, hey, you know what? You're a little under the ball and you're 0 for 8. Shut.
Well, again, they used to be like that. I think the game has gone away from that.
Well, we have ladies stretches therapists.
I think that
players,
I think players now are not as often.
Okay, in my time, I cannot picture a lady be a therapist or a trainer.
Correct, and that's why the game has evolved.
I put a picture.
Yeah, but that's why the game has evolved.
Okay, that's why I think back then if they put a lady as a trainer, I say, at least me.
Yeah,
I respect that.
You wouldn't have cared.
No, because I respect. I had a wife. Now I have a granddaughter. You know what I mean? Like, but. Back then, you see that, and just like, oh, wait a minute.
But again, those are the positives of the game.
Oh, I love that's a good test. No, the umpire.
The umpire situation.
Women's in the game. Yes. You know why? I'm very proud of Kim. the GM for Miami.
Yes.
I saw her grow up, and nobody, I don't care who you are, is a male, did what she did to have that job. She went through everything to have that job. Very prepared woman.
Well prepared, knows the game, knows old school, new school, and again, I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do in the Marlins. I think they're doing great things quietly. A very hard division, but we're going to keep covering here in Guillens World. So thank you for watching us. Thank you for following us. Let us know what you think. NyynewsTV. I kind of keep messing it up. Thank you guys for being here with us.
Thank you, guys.
Keep watching us. Follow us. Let us know what you think. Have a good one.
Before it hits the front page,